Hey there, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm going to be talking about this new SetPower RF20 fridge. This thing is a little small footprint fridge with some really cool built-in features, so if you're looking for something that doesn't take up a ton of space, doesn't weigh a lot, this may be a good option for you. So we're going to dive into the RF20 today in detail. I'm going to show you everything about this. There will be a link in the description below if you want to pick one up for yourself, but they run about $160, so it's also a great budget option. So again, let's get into the SetPower RF20 fridge.
Sandstorm, I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me, loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so as I mentioned in the intro, today I'm talking about this SetPower RF20 fridge. Now, this thing has a lot of really compelling features built into it, and I'm going to show you all that. You're also going to notice that this is my style of fridge, and what I mean by that is I've had several fridges. I'm currently running the IceCo APL55, but that is a big boy. That thing weighs about 60 pounds. It's ginormous, right? It takes up the vast majority of my bed, of my truck, and so with the move from this bed rack and rooftop tent to an enclosed camper style build in the back, I'm going to be removing that and probably selling it because I'm going to be moving to something smaller like this SetPower RF20 because I just don't have the room in my bed to keep a fridge this big and I don't really need it, right? So again, today we're going to be talking about this, but what I mean by this is my style is no wheels, right? I hate the ones with wheels just because I want to mount these things. When I'm putting these in my trucks, I'm going to be mounting them on a slide most likely. I believe they do have a slide for this too. I did not get one when I picked this up, just got the fridge, but you could get a slide for it. I may be building a whole entire bed slide for my bed of my truck, and this will go on that. But this thing is a nice small size. It has a really just simple but nice display over here. So you've got power, you've got your settings, you've got plus and minus. It's like right now I have this set to 32 degrees and I just plugged it in to put some drinks in it. As far as power consumption goes, this thing is actually super efficient. So on low mode, on eco mode, it pulls about 28 watts of power, and on high, even on max, it runs about 40. So this is a really efficient fridge. It is running right now. So I'm going to hold this down here so you can hear it. It is dead quiet. I mean, it's quieter than a lot of the bigger name fridges that I've had before. So you can barely hear this thing. So if you are bothered by fridge noise or anything like that, this could be a good option too. Of course, on the ends here, you've got these tie down points, which are great because that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use lashing straps to attach this to my bed slide in my truck. Another really nice feature of this is that this lid is swappable. So you can pull this up and then you can turn it. So you could put this whichever way you wanted to. So if you want to, in the olden days, you kind of had to pick your fridge by how you were going to open it, right? But so you could flop this around and then you can make it so that it's a left side opener or a right side opener. So depending on where you want to put this thing in your truck or SUV, you can actually adjust it because this lid is swappable, which is really, really nice. So opening it up, of course, like all SetPower fridges, you've got this nice little foam insert that kind of ensures the seal along this lip here, along the edges. You do have this sort of little storage space up here. So this is where I would keep things like condiments or water bottles, things that I don't need to be super cold, but I want to keep kind of cold. I'll put that sort of stuff up there. Then in the middle here, this is really an interesting idea, but they've made a divider that is fillable with water. So you could fill this thing with water, freeze it, pre-freeze it before you even go, put this in between these two sections. Now it is a single zone fridge, but you could put this thing in between there, and they say that in lab testing that this thing will keep your food cold for up to 50 hours. So if you lost power, if you had to move this fridge, if you took it down to the beach or something, during the day, because you have this thing in here, once you get it pre-cooled and you have this ice block in here, then it's going to keep your food cool much longer than the ones that don't have that, right? So they're going to lose heat a lot faster, but with this, it's going to keep your food cold longer. Now, I will throw the dimensions and stuff up here on the screen as well as the weight so that you know that. But it has a standard sort of DC plug here, just like most of these fridges. I am currently just running it off of a power bank over here. And as you can see, it's pulling 32 watts of power right now from a warm startup. It's about 60, 70 degrees out here right now. So it's actually, or I think it started at 58 and now it's down to 55, but it's starting to cool. But so again, just the footprint of this thing is amazing. The fact that it's so small. I like that it's black too. I mean, maybe that's just me, but I just love black fridges. I think they look a little sharper than the chrome ones or the white ones. So it looks a little bit nicer. It will look good in my overlanding setup in the back of my truck. But this thing is just, it's a nice little entry. And again, this thing goes for about $160. So if you're looking for budget, if you don't need 58 quarts sorts of storage and you don't need to take, you know, an entire, you know, case of beer and a ton of food, then something like this would be great. I mean, looking at the inside here, there's still a ton of room, and I likely will remove the center divider and just use this whole space for food and drinks. But I mean, you could easily get 12, 18 cans of soda or water or whatever in here. Beer, you know, that's what I'm going to carry. You could easily get that stuff in there and still have plenty of room for food and condiments and things like that. Now, a couple other things to point out about this fridge is that it can get down to 32 degrees within about 15 minutes. So they do focus on a fast cooling for this fridge. Of course, you'd want to turn it on max mode for that, but just FYI, if you needed this thing to get really cool really fast, or leaving for a trip or something, they do have fast cooling with this fridge, which is just a nice feature, kind of standard nowadays, but still nice to know. They also have an app for this thing, which is really comprehensive. It's really nice. I'm going to show you here on the screen how I connect to it. It connects via Bluetooth, so you could, you know, change your temperature without having to get up and get, you know, into your fridge. So, for example, when this is in my camper, what I'm thinking is, you know, from inside the house, I can get close enough to the truck where I can switch this thing on. I can turn it off. I can adjust the temperature and things like that. This will operate as a freezer too, so it will go down to -4 degrees. So you can use this as a fridge or a freezer. Again, it's single zone, so you got to have one or the other, but just a nice feature that if you wanted to bring some ice cream or something frozen, you could bring that with this. As you can see, it's only been a few minutes since I started shooting this video, and we went from 58 down to 50. So you can see that it is moving towards that 32 really fast. So this thing does weigh about 22 pounds, which is super, super light. Again, my Iceco is about 60 pounds. So, you know, a third of the weight of the Iceco and, you know, 1/6 of the price makes this a pretty appealing option if you don't need all that space. But again, for the price, to have this quick cooling, to have the efficiency of, say, 28 to 40 watts of power being pulled, and to have this small form factor with the lightweight is really, really nice for 160 bucks. Of course, like always, this thing does have battery protection, and it also has, you know, as I mentioned, the Eco and the Max mode. To adjust those, you just hit Settings, and then you'll see that start to flash there from Eco. And then you can use your pluses and your minuses to change it from Eco to Max. You can then tap it again. Right now our battery protection is on medium, but you could do low, medium, and high. So if you want high battery protection, that means that it's going to shut off earlier. If you want low, then that's going to let your battery get further down before it turns off the protection. So again, just having it in medium right now works for me. You can also adjust your units, which is really nice because a lot of these won't do that. You just kind of have to learn Celsius. But here in the US, of course, we use Fahrenheit as our measurement for temperature. So you can switch that in the app, or you can do it on here too, between Fahrenheit and Celsius. So right now, of course, I've got it set to Fahrenheit just so that I can get that to the temperature that I'm familiar with, but you could do either. All right, guys, so as you saw, that was the SetPower RF20 fridge. This thing is a great little budget option. Again, if you don't need something with a ton of capacity, you know, compared to my Iceco APL55, this thing is a 58-quart fridge, and it's just massive, right? It takes up a ton of space in my bed. It weighs like 60 pounds. So as I'm moving to my camper, this is what I'm thinking, is something smaller like this is all that I really need. Like, I don't need to bring a 30-pack of beer with me on every trip, right? So that's where I'm kind of, my head is at with this, is that the smaller size may be better. But again, it just depends on your needs, right? And the reversible lid and just all the nice features that are built into this, that fillable separator that allows you to keep temperature for up to 50 hours is pretty nice as well. So just kind of a nice little fridge for not a lot of money, right? So again, if you want to save some money, this SetPower may be a good option for you. And they make great fridges. I've had several other fridges, and I know a bunch of friends that run SetPowers and have always had good luck. So anyways, check that out through the link in the description below. Also below this video will be links to all my social channels, so wherever you want to come hang out, I'd love to have you. There's also a link to my website down there, and I've got funny overlanding camping themed patches and stickers, things like "Don't burn your wiener" and "It's a hot dog," or "I hate people so I camp." So check those out if you're looking for stuff to decorate your rig or your fridge or whatever. Also below this video is a join button, which is just sort of a passive way to support the channel. It'll get you early access to the videos and some other perks. Also, though, if you want to be more involved with the channel, there is a link to my Patreon, which is amazing. We have a ton of awesome guys in there, and we do a 24/7 Discord where we all sort of chat about our rigs and our gear and share memes and stuff. And then we do a once-a-month Zoom call, and we're getting out on a couple trips every year just to hang out in person. So if that sounds good, check out the Patreon. And then last but not least, there is a link to the Newbie Overlanders Facebook group. Now, this group is totally free to join, full of 30,000 people at this point, but different from the other big groups. We don't allow a bunch of self-promotion. We don't allow bullying or anything like that. So if you're looking to learn or to help people that are new to overlanding, that may be a good place for you, and we'd love to have you. But thanks again for watching. Click through that link in the description below to check out the SetPower for yourself, and we'll see you next time.